I can't say I love every Harry Potter set from this new release of products, but I can safely say some of them are seriously impressive, while others finally help to make sense of what we can expect from LEGO Harry Potter products in the coming years. Thank you LEGO for sending this for review. The Aragog in the Forbidden Forest set, for instance, is very straightforward and simple build as far as I'm concerned. The two minifigures included are Harry and Ron, but the highlight is for me a very nice looking Aragog with a printed slope for the eyes, which in turn makes this one of the very few Harry Potter sets you'll find without stickers. I was hoping the character would be a lot more poseable, especially on the legs, but you can only bend them on this joint here. The belly does move up and down, and there's also some degree of movement with the mandibles. Now, despite this side build not looking like much, it's quite interesting because it does match the style of the builds that the Forbidden Forest Magical Creatures set had, allowing you to connect them all together to start building up your Forbidden Forest. Not that I feel this is that great of a forest build, if I'm being honest, but I like the thought process behind the system itself. On a brighter note, this product, contrary to the Magical Creatures one, feels like a better deal due to the retail price being $10 lower with a higher piece count in comparison. Now, speaking of systems, the first proper Hogwarts Castle set of the most detailed Hogwarts Castle set ever, as advertised in the boxes, is the impressive sized Hogwarts Castle The Great Hall. I do understand that this is a set with 1700 pieces and costs $200, which for people who care about price per piece ratios isn't all that great. I do wanna point out that the bigger sized boxes of this Harry Potter wave and a few others I can't disclose yet have this new style of box that opens like this after you cut the seals. It does make it possible to flatten them out and reuse, which is fine for box keepers I guess, but I find it weird that a few years ago LEGO made serious efforts to reduce box sizes to save paper, but is now going back to a box type that wastes more paper for reasons I don't quite understand. With that aside, the cast of characters here is just as impressive as the set, and the highlight has to be the Mountain Troll, a brand new minifigure mold that uses pre-existent big arms. It is dual molded with both sand blue and dark tan details for clothes, printed face, which all makes it an insanely expensive piece that probably helps to understand that price per piece ratio just a bit. First here, Harry, Ron and Hermione with two different types of Gryffindor robes are here, as well as Leanne, Daphne Greengrass and Terry Boot representing the other three houses. As for the staff, Professor Septima Vector is a first in LEGO form I think, with both an impressive gown but also dual molded wizard hat. Professor Dumbledore goes just as hard with an even more detailed minifigure with arm printing and dual molded hat/hair combo, only matched by Professor McGonagall from the Boathouse set. And finally Professor Quirrell, very plain in comparison, with prints just for the torso, front and back, and as you can probably guess if you're into Harry Potter at all, featuring Voldemort under the turban as the extra print for the head. The 11th minifigure of this set is the Fat Friar Ghost. Onto the main model we have this time around the Great Hall, and much like the previous Hogwarts Castle sets, this will be part of a much bigger Hogwarts Castle build you'll be able to put together if you keep collecting all of the sets for long enough. The Boathouse set from the previous wave kinda makes sense now as it connects to the entrance staircase like this, finally giving it some purpose, as on its own it felt like a lackluster product if it weren't for the amazing McGonagall minifigure. The staircase of the Great Hall built at an angle makes the whole thing a bit more interesting as it would otherwise be very square looking. The base has this dark blue color for the water layer, topped off by a simple rock formation made with a bunch of these rock pieces that isn't all that impressive but fits the age marking well, with some trees and a few pieces in sand green to break off the grey look of it all. Up these stairs the courtyard is quite bare but makes great use of a combination of slopes for the roofs, so to speak, and despite there being a fair amount of stickers outside for the stone details, that clock face is actually a printed element. As for the Great Hall itself, it looks okay on the outside, was very simple to build and a bit repetitive with all of those windows and small details outside by the tilted roof technique. There is this level where minifigures can stand, and besides that not a whole lot needs to be said, except for maybe this wall section that opens like this and has a broom here. Not really sure what the point of this is, but maybe another set will connect here in the future. Turning the model around reveals the interior of the Great Hall. Again, as simple as it can be, which works well for the playset that it's meant to be. On the walls, 4 banners with stickers to represent the 4 Hogwarts houses, but only 2 team tables set for a meal. Same goes for the teacher's table, that won't fit more than the 3 included in the set. The way the floating candles are represented stuck to the build with transparent clips was very neat to see, as was the magical ceiling with these pieces here for the clouds and moon. Above it, another sticker with the Hogwarts crest and what I believe to be the Philosopher's Stone, given how this is clearly Harry Potter Year 1 inspired. And what makes me say this, besides the minifigures that support this claim, is the girls' bathroom on the underground level that slides out like so for you to play out that iconic scene that took place in the events of the Philosopher's Stone book and movies. You can open the build further to expand the play just a little, and the way the bathroom stall is built allows you to destroy it with the Mountain Troll Club, very much like the way he does in the movie. The mirrors here are unfortunately stickers, and in the same way the bathroom slides out, a place that seems to be Hufflepuff's common room does as well, given the colors of that carpet under the table. This build also opens like the bathroom and features a simple fireplace build, on top of which lies one of those collectible portraits randomly placed in Hogwarts castle sets. 14 different ones to collect, with 5 being included in this set in particular, the last 4 being placed in the simple corridor or dungeon build, with my set including 2 of the same character here. Quite the unlucky event. As you can see, the build is modular, done in different sections, each having its own building instructions booklet, which I appreciate for sharing purposes. And despite the modular nature of it all, it is surprisingly sturdy if you pick it up. You just need to be mindful of the underground rooms, as they are not connected and can slide out. I enjoy this one for the playset that it is, and for the pivotal role that it will play in the greater Hogwarts castle build. But as it stands, there isn't a lot done already, and the 4 sets released so far bring the castle cost to a total of $323. It's gonna be expensive. The 4th product of the lot I haven't covered yet is the potions class set, that does fit the castle like this, and like the castle rooms also opens up. But before that, the minifigure selection features the same Hermione from the Great Hall set, but does include Pansy Parkinson and Seamus Finnegan with a cool blown up secondary face print on the student side of things. Being the potions room that it is, Severus Snape had to be included, and while not as impressive as some of the other teachers, it does feature arm printing, which makes it a bit more special. The potions room on the outside doesn't look like much, to be honest. It does have some details, but the bulk of the build is on the inside, which we can better access by opening it all up like this. There's something really appealing with this one, which I really can't pinpoint, but makes it great to look at. Maybe it's all of the ingredients in these balls, or maybe workstations featuring an awesome new potion smoke element in 2 different colors. Besides that, there's also 2 different potion flasks, which look just as amazing and seem to be new as far as I'm aware. A bunch of these elements can be disconnected from the main build to create an even bigger classroom feel, and it's neat to also explore the stickers, as they give you the plans for sleeping and love potions also featured in a corner of the room. As is the case with all Hogwarts Castle system sets so far, this one also features 2 collectible portraits, and that about sums up this one. It definitely doesn't feel like $40 worth of Lego, even though the piece count is close to 400, but there's a certain appeal to some of the pieces and minifigures, so take that as you will. It wouldn't be unthinkable to see this for sale later down the line, so you can probably wait it out. The one product that completely blew me away from this wave though was definitely the Triwizard third month the Arrival set. To think that a Harry Potter set would be perfect to build up classic castle and pirate related worlds had never crossed my mind, yet here we are. First, the minifigure selection is out of this world for Harry Potter minifigure collectors, as I don't think we will ever see any of these in any other sets. 5 in total, with the least appealing to me being Barty Crouch Sr., but then a cool looking Igor Karkaroff and Victor Crumb from the Durmstrang School, and then Fleur Delacour and Madame Maxime from the Beauxbatons School. Yes, Madame Maxime, being the elf giant that she is, was given the long arms and legs treatment, which makes sense but still weirds me out to see in LEGO. Hagrid in comparison makes a lot more sense to me. The Goblet of Fire is included as a side build, as is the Triwizard Cup, but the highlight to me are these builds here. They are supposed to house their entire schools, and so should have been much larger, especially the Beauxbatons carriage, which was simply made as a passenger carriage, which all things considered I do understand, and it does a great job at representing what it means to represent. And although being slightly bigger than what a regular sized castle carriage should look like, I think it fits a castle setting quite well if you remove the wings from the Abraxan included. Speaking of which, there should be 12 of them according to the reference material, but you know how these things are. I do really appreciate the fact that extra bricks were included to make this a regular plain horse. The carriage has a royal feel to it, with all of the golden accents, a trunk in the back with a few cups, stickered logos for the doors, and an opening roof allowing access to the interior. It was quite an interesting build with a few suds not on top techniques, and it looks really good in my opinion. But the highlight of the set has got to be the Durmstrang ship, of course, which for pirate fans doesn't look that out of place next to the Eldorado Fortress, right? It isn't the easiest model to play with for reasons I'll discuss in a bit, but the build was very good and enjoyable to do. And if you know me well enough, you know I don't say this often. Achieving these angled sections in the front and back was a masterclass of LEGO building techniques, and the overall shape of the hull is very impressive considering it's not using regular ship hull pieces you'd find in similar types of ship builds. The cloth-like pieces for the sails take the looks of the model even further, and if that wasn't enough, there's even 3 extra flag pieces hanging from the masts that don't quite bend as shown in the box, obviously, though that really isn't an issue for me. The amount of stickers in this build alone was 24, and an actual pain if I'm being completely honest. Accessibility is also an issue with this one. There's a bedroom under the deck which I can't really play with my adult-sized hands, but the biggest complaint I have is that to access the captain's quarters, so to speak, you need to remove this hose assembly, move it to the side to finally be able to lift off this entire section to reveal a very small sized room with not that many details. If you want to play with these a lot, that isn't very practical. This entire back section feels like it could have rooms, but it's just a build-up of details. And while it feels like I'm nitpicking too much, I still love this one for the unexpectedly awesome building experience it gave me. I was not expecting to find at all, as well as 2 amazingly looking models castle and pirate fans will be able to retrofit in their displays with ease. The price of $140 for a little over 1200 pieces isn't amazing, but you gotta take the high-priced hoses and cloth sail elements into account. There's still a few more sets to the wave that I might do a separate video on sometime down the line, but for now I really wanted to show these to you all that will be releasing June 1st, with links in the description if you wish to purchase any and support the channel at the same time. Be sure to subscribe to keep an eye out for upcoming reviews, as there's a lot coming up. Trust me.